Hello YouTube. Something a little different for my channel, but I've been wanting to do this for a while. I want to make hardtack, and this is part of a bigger project. Recently I've been reading a diary of a Civil War soldier, and one of the things they made when they didn't have anything else, he had a potato, and he had some beef jerky, and he had some hardtack, and he made that into a stew. And I've been curious as to what that would have turned out to be. So I'm going to start with making hardtack. So here it goes. I have, and I'm just making a small batch. There are some recipes out there that make much bigger batches. I have 2 cups flour, half to a full tablespoon of salt, I'm going to mix that together. So the salt to be evenly distributed. Then there's about a cup of water in that, but I'm going to start with about a half, slowly work that in, and see what we end up with. It calls for a half to 3/4 cup water. And as you can imagine, hardtack is basically a dry cracker. So we want it to be a rather dry flour, rather dry mixture. Okay, now I'm going to start mixing it with my hands. This is a very dry dough, but don't want to overwater it. Okay, I'm going to give it just a tiny bit more water, so I called for more like 3/4. And I think we don't want to overwork it either. This is what we've got at this point. I'm going to put a little flour on my cutting board just to keep it from sticking. I'll start working this dough. I want to get it well mixed. Worried it's still a little too dry. I've never made this before, but I don't want to overweight it. So let's start rolling it out. We're looking for a 1/3 inch cracker. Dough, a 1/3 inch dough. Pippin's telling somebody about something. Okay, now we're going to cut it. We're going to cut ourselves into about 3-inch squares. I don't think size is too important, but I could be wrong. Roll our excess back into another cutting. This one's going to be a little small. Okay, let's see. I'm told a very important part of this process is the holes that we're going to make in them. I've got this little chopstick from Takeout Food. And I've been told the holes make them evenly cook. I'm going to cook at 250 degrees for 4 hours. And at that temperature, I think we're really doing a high heat drying process, which is, I believe, the reason hardtack lasts so long. Basically dehydrated cracker. Probably fast forward you past this. You don't need to see me make 1,000 little holes, do you? I'll see if I got some more. Some smaller. And we'll see how that turns out, that some are larger than others, some smaller. Okay, now into the oven, 250 degrees for 4 hours. Flipping one time halfway through. We will check them at 2 hours, flip them over, see how they're doing. Okay, it's been 2 hours, let's check it out. Time to flip them and then put them back in for another 2. Oh, they feel nice and hard, yeah. Feels like hardtack. Oh yeah. Okay, Back in for another 2 hours. It's been 4 hours. Let's get them out and take a look. They're nice and hard. Okay, let's get them on a drying rack. There we go. Taste test later. Got this water to a hard boil. Now this, you can't even call it a recipe. This that I'm following is simply a diary entry of a Civil War soldier, not a recipe. They just talked about how they found some potatoes, they had some beef jerky, they had some hardtack, and they made a stew. They thickened it with the hardtack, rehydrated the beef jerky. Well, this is an assumption on my part. They made a stew out of those three things, is all I really know. So we're going to give it a shot. I'm sure that there were nuances at the time that they got much better at. I've got me some beef jerky here. I made this myself about 3 weeks ago. Keeps well as long as it doesn't get wet. And we're going to start by boiling that beef jerky in my little cast iron pot here. To get it good and rehydrated. It's well dried. It was salted meat, so it has a fair amount of salt already in it. We're going to add to it this medium to small size potato. And my question about this, and what I've always thought about it, and why I'm trying to recreate it, is, was this a tasty meal? Was this something that was good? Or was this just something that kept you alive? Okay, so right now we've just got beef jerky and potato, and we'll let that boil down for a while until the potato's done. Then we're going to start adding some hardtack and seeing how that thickens up this stew. Going to throw the top on it here and just let it boil for about 10 minutes, and I'll check it again. This is boiled down for 20 minutes. Now I'm breaking off some hardtack in it. I'll start with about 2 crackers, 2 of my bigger crackers. I think I'm going to put one more in there. Oops. Not that one. Stew down for another 10 minutes. Let's see what we got. So it's taken a long time to render, but I'm fogging up the camera there, aren't I? But it is looking really good. I should have broken the hardtack down a little more, but it's still rendering well. I don't know. It's looking pretty good so far. We shall see. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, this is just a thick, wonderful looking stew. Let's get it in the bowl, see how it tastes. Wow, it really looks impressive. Certainly has all the consistency of a wonderful stew. So I don't want to oversell this, but this is amazing for the ingredients. The Civil War soldier was not sacrificing anything when he had a bowl of this at his camp. I mean, this is literally delicious. Wow. These turned out to be more like dumplings. I would have made them a little smaller if I did it again. I'd crack them a little better. The meat is just as soft and almost like fresh meat. Well, it is like fresh meat. I don't know that I could tell the difference if I didn't know it had come from jerky. Salty. Because the meat was salted, I didn't add any seasoning to it at all. This is simply beef jerky, water, potato, one small potato, and hardtack. This is an amazing stew. And exactly what I was trying to find out. It's delicious. Thanks for watching.